everything has to be triggered through some kind of a visual cue, right? Oh, well, that person's black. They have to vote this way. Oh, that guy's white. He's a racist. It is the exact opposite.
That black person's smart. He's acting like a white guy.
Oh yeah. That's a great one. So yeah, with this percentage shit. Yeah, when I said it, I didn't ask a question because what I'm trying to point out is that every time they introduce some statement about this small percentage of the population, what ends up happening?
What?
Well, somehow you end up with far more people making claim to the new unique condition or whatever than could ever be possible. So, hell, you can go into the health world to do this. The gluten. I'm gluten intolerant or whatever. No, you're not. You eat like shit and you don't exercise and you drink too much soda and coffee and your guts are garbage. So you're gonna always have discomfort when you're going number 2 or whatever.
3, 2, 1. That is hard as this podcast is. Here we are. Philly's on the pod right before his championship match over at his virtual golf simulator.
Oh yeah. Oh, you'd love that, man. It's so funny. I started working there just after Halloween, and then we had another month-long freaking interruption of everything.
Yep.
Closed for over a month, and we get back going. We have a 3-man league, match play, 9-hole, fun little deal. One of the teams that was in the league dropped out. So a group of young guys, and they said, we're not coming back because we don't want to get COVID. And this was after they played 7 or 8 weeks of the league.
They were just kind of scared of getting COVID. Like, when I say that, do you think they were being? Do you think they were being insulting in a way, as in like these guys aren't cleaning enough? There's enough sanitizer shit going around. Is what I was trying to ask.
No,
is that how you guys took it, or
no, I don't think it was that.
They're more so like, you know what, we're just not gonna fucking go out anymore at all. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. And then you got people like me that go to LA Fitness twice a day.
It may have been that there were, other people in the league who, really didn't care about the masks
dirty people.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or these guys they were just the ones that had their fear tolerance whittled down to the point where they're just scared of everything and just decided to stop. They didn't want to come anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the funny part is I cobbled together a replacement team just to fill in and get the matchups finished.
And this is the team that you are in.
We last week of the regular league, we're in 5th place, right? We play a match and we took enough points. We ended up jumping into 3rd place.
Oh wow.
So then last week was the playoff thing. It was 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3. We beat number 2 and number 4 beat number 1.
Nice,
dude.
So that's how it should be.
Both. And
the underdogs. And I love it.
I'm playing in the championship. So
have you ever won a championship at anything in your life? Ever? In any sort of team or competition or sports, or even like into any math competitions or anything like that? No spelling bees.
I never. I did.
I can see you being in a spelling bee as a kid.
I did a spelling bee in it was 4th or 5th grade, and it was a bunch of little satellites where basically anybody who wanted to be in it, you just go and you try. And I think I won that. I won my satellite thing. And then I was out at the next part of it.
You called it after that one.
Yeah. I don't think I'm still a good speller, but
I'm a shit speller,
not on that
dude.
level. Not on these words you've never heard before. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, that have like silent G's and like all these other silent letters in them. Like, it's pretty amazing actually watching some like these YouTube clips of like these really like high level spelling bee competitions, dude. It's fucking crazy.
The stuff they spell. It's like
it's like, what do these kids just read a dictionary for? Like, is that their practice? It's got to be just looking up fucking words in the dictionary and trying to spell them.
And they study all of the ins and outs of etymology. Like
is that like pronunciation of words?
They can tell like what the origin of a word is, and those origins and how they develop lead to the spellings they have. And so there's just a sea of rules about how different cultures and languages developed and what that means to their spelling. And these kids know all that shit. It's their, if not smart, very good at memorizing and then lining info up against the stuff. It's amazing watching those kids do that.
It really is. And it's kind of only kids too. You don't see too many adult competition spelling bees. No one really cares either about the adults. Everyone wants to see the kids spell.
I'm sure there are plenty of scientists and probably, English majors and history teachers and stuff who would do excellent in spelling bees. But I don't know if they would beat these kids. These kids, they got plastic brains. They just start doing stuff and their brain just molds around it and locks in on stuff.
It really does. They're so curious too when you're that age, dude. Like
that's the same thing with the video games.
Yep.
You just put those joysticks in their hands and let them spend some time, and they just do it.
It's so easy to get obsessed with things when you're younger too. Like I've noticed that. Like as I've gotten older, it's hard for me to get really obsessed and really into like a hobby or like anything really.
Yeah, I'm still the same way. I find something that I want to get into, and I basically just go through my day and try to get home and do.
Well, not everything. You still haven't started your own channel. I'm waiting on that to happen.
That's work.
Yeah.
Try to avoid that as much as possible.
Well, either way, let's pick up where we left off with last episode with the exchange and trust. Oh no, trust and exchange. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
it's very important to have that if you're a car salesman or buying a car or any type of salesman at all, really.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to have the ability to instill trust in their customers. So when the customer comes to the table, whoever the dealer or the seller or the servicer, whatever it is that they're doing, they need to present more. They need to bring more in the realm of the real, because the person on the other side of the table is bringing the immaterial requirement of trusting the person that they're going to as a vendor. Now, that should apply everywhere. If you're the one who's put in work somewhere else and now you're bringing your paper, I've earned something, your paper exchange tickets, dollars or whatever. If you're the one bringing that, you're the one bringing the trust, because you've already sunk the time in. The other side of the table is trying to realize a return on what they've done. You've already gotten your return. You got paid for whatever you did. Now it's up to them to see. You had to instill trust in the person paying you to do the work, right? You were the vendor of the labor hours. So if they don't trust you, you're probably on your way out, right? It's different when there's no anchoring. There's no tying people together. Once you've already been paid, you have whatever that amount that could be savings to spend, and you go out into the world, you're the one bringing trust. Now, I like to do the side-by-side individuals, right?
Yep.
And the crossing arrows to represent that the only reason people exchange is because they're getting more in their eyes than what they're giving up. And there's an extreme lack of this trust component. Everybody's running around doing the old broken, really
broken record sales, washed up car salesman pitch, or
pre-economic approach that exchanges are equal. They're equal. What people are giving up is equal. That is the absolute incorrect starting point, because if you reduce everything down to everything is equal, well, you can go one step farther. How about if everybody's the same? Like all these
that sounds the same as equal.
These pinwheel brained, go with the wind people. They have no ability to see the logical consequences of the ideas that they put forth. Well, we need to make everyone the same. Well, if everybody's sitting in a single person home and grows their own food, nobody has to exchange anything. So everybody being the same.
Unless I'm better at growing potatoes and you're better at growing carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Then a guy who grows carrots can eat potatoes and carrots, and a guy who grows potatoes can eat potatoes and carrots.
You can make some great pot roasts. It's amazing with those two ingredients right there.
Can actually produce one thing and consume more than one thing. Isn't that remarkable?
It is.
So I took down a couple of just examples. Maybe the best one is that now, like I was talking about how if you've earned your wage and now you're going out into the world to spend your earnings, you're the one who's bringing the trust with you.
Mm-hmm.
The employer brought their trust. You earned it. Now you've got trust that you need to put in somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's how it flows.
Yeah, or a company even. Like, there's more trust that you're putting in when you're going to buy a car, or like maybe you're having someone, any type of physical labor. Maybe you're having someone come, remodel a room in your house. You're putting a lot of trust in that person. But now let's say you're going to go buy a video game with that money. You're trusting that Sony or whoever made that, the company that made that game is going to be good. Maybe you already have that trust because you did your research on stuff like on it online. You're like, hey, this game looks awesome. I've watched my buddy play it at his house. I'm going to go buy it. So that trust has already been established. Yeah. And it's built there for objects, at least. Something that's visual, right? Tangible.
Yes.
Right away. Now, if you can't see it right away, that's when you're going into this blind trust of exchange, dude. Uh-oh.
And people in general are being so viciously abused on a daily basis. It's painful. I mean, I would say that in this country right now, most of the employee-employer relationships and the voter concept, they've been basically scrubbed of any ability to build trust. I mean, you go and you start, just like I just did. I transferred from one employer that was stuck under the thumb of some frickin' bureaucracy because of this fake flu. So I transitioned to another place that was out away from the city, and then the governor runs out there and shuts everything down. So it's like you have these people that want to provide an entertainment venue, and you have people who want to work there, and you have customers that want to spend money, and the government stands in the way of all of it.
Yep. But it's okay if 22,000 people go to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, especially if you can get some dirty Republicans to show up without masks on, because now you have you've got all the evidence you need that all white people should be executed, basically.
Did that happen? Did some big name Republicans go there without masks?
Oh, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida.
Okay.
They got pictures of him sitting in his private box, mind you, without a mask on.
How many people were in there? Do you remember?
Like, the photo is just of him sitting next to another dude.
Yep.
Probably another government guy.
So that'd be like if you and me go out to eat. We take our masks off so we can eat.
Yeah, and then someone takes a picture and calls you a white supremacist.
Yep.
It's just the most remarkable nonsense. And as far as the way all of this stuff is working right now, and the inability of a huge number of people to actually maintain a stable work environment because of this stuff. I mean, these employer-employee relationships they're functioning as an imposed inefficiency at this point. And they're locked into it. I mean, the income tax and all of the entitlement withholding that is channeled through the tracking of everybody's compensation, there's no way to unwind it. It's a process that just keeps accumulating this mountain of unfunded debt, and they have no way out. There is no way out. I mean, it really is hard to. You can't predict the timing, but this the currency abuse it's gonna deliver some pretty severe suffering on a lot of people.
It already has.
Can you come up with any ideas where this trust basically you've got your two components, what you're trying to get, and then you've got what you have plus your trust,
and how
right?
you're trying to build trust with this person.
Well, it's just that
the trust you're trying to build trust in exchange.
It's inverted. It's like the person that's supposed to be instilling trust is the one who's demanding that they're the ones bringing the trust. You're the one who's suspicious. It's so bizarre. It's like, well, just think of it. It's okay. So we've got some ridiculous collectivist concept, and you come to the table and you're being checked for ID or for the right understanding of whatever goofball idea it is. And so, well, you haven't earned our trust. What? I'm not engaged in anything with you where you need to trust me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, here's my fucking money. This should be showing that I'm trusting you.
You're the ones that are pooling around some spire of authority that is only supposed to be there because we trust that it works.
Let's look at simple ways you can build trust with an unknown, with an unknown entity. First thing that comes to my mind is reputation. You know what I mean? Learn about this person's reputation. It's probably one of the best fundamental ways to just start earning trust with an entity that you don't know. After you try and learn about their reputation, just talk to them, dude. I really feel like you can learn a lot about a person just by a simple conversation, dude. The first thing with how they act, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
If they're people who are over enthusiastic about shit, they who get that wash up car salesman make me skeptical. I'll be honest,
Yeah,
the ones that over exaggerate too a lot. I know a lot of I've met a lot of over exaggerators in my life, dude.
Yeah. I'm absolutely sick to death of everybody's attempts to insert, advertisements and plugs and go here to sign up for this and more info and put your stuff in here. And it's
go to a nice looking website with really nice pictures on them.
Yeah. It's just an infinite racket of bullshit. I pulled up a video last night. There's a ton of material out there, concerning basically the biblical view of the flood versus geological time and all that stupid nonsense, none of which they can actually demonstrate is real. And the guy, he's a minister in one of these Protestant churches or something. And he comes out, he spends the first 4 minutes of the video talking about, go to this thing to sign up and be on this list. And it's just, and we got to run this program. It's like, are you here to talk about a subject, or are you here to try and brainwashing me into some kind of a follower of your cult?
Right.
Because I pulled up your video to hear about the information, not about your program or your other websites or any of this other bullshit. It's like the only reason anybody's out there is to just get more people to glom onto them so they can squeeze money out of them. It's so sick. It's
okay. So where are we going with this, Philly? Let's get to it here.
Well,
the exchange and trust, man.
Well, here's a great example. All of the public smoking bans.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about it last episode a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, where in the world did they get this idea?
Does it matter? Does it matter where they got the idea from?
I'm just pointing it out as a demonstration of the fact that the trust factor was completely inverted in that situation, and that's why the results that have come out of it have been so disastrous. And now we're just taking more steps, more rungs up the ladder in how intense and how damaging their actions are at this point. Once you can dictate the arrangement between the establishment owner and the customers, well, they don't own anything. And the customers are they're just compliance nodes. Oh, well, okay. So you think you're free. Okay, well, here's all of the choices that don't harm anybody else that you can't make. And, you think you own that bar? Well, all of the things that you and your customers would voluntarily agree to, here's the list of those things that you can't do.
So you're talking about companies putting trust in the government and then the government then telling them how to run their business.
Yeah, exactly. The trust that you put in was completely lost because they invert it and they look back at you and say, well, you have to earn our trust. See, we're going to write 10,000 freaking ordinances that there's no way in that you could ever comply with all of them. And we're just going to hold them in our back pocket to prosecute you if you step out of line. So we've basically made it impossible for you to be a law-abiding citizen. And because we know that, and now you know that we're the ones who are bringing the trust to the table, you don't have to trust anything. We're already here. And we're just going to keep this in our back pocket to beat you with if you don't do what we want.
It's a giant fucking book they smack you over the head with every
Where's
time.
the freedom? I don't see it. I mean, there's a lot of people that can, climb pyramids and get what they want through not caring about the effects of their actions on other people. And I guess that's just the way it is. So
businesses should be allowed to do whatever they want, no rules?
No, see, there are rules. It's just that the ones that the government comes up with aren't rules. They're just things that they
decided.
Yeah.
I think we should do this.
The speed limit is 55 miles an hour. So then you stand next to the freeway all day watching people go by at 70, 75, 80 miles an hour. And then there you go, past the dipshit who sits in a frickin' running car all day, protecting and serving. And somehow you get a ticket for doing 59. It's like you're sitting there watching the asshole write you a ticket, and there's guys screaming by at 80 miles an hour.
Yep.
It's all of that stupid general ordinance, pick and choose, quota meeting crap that they do. How the hell did it ever turn into that? Well, it's because people don't get it. They just don't understand. They just let this shit.
Do you think we'll ever get to the point? See, this would probably be even worse though. If they got some fucking, I'm sure they already do have it, some like sort of electronic sensor. You drive by it, say it knows the speed limit's 55. You zoom under going 75, grabs your license plate number, has all your information. Then they just like mail you a ticket.
Yeah, well, they do that in a lot of places already. They tried to get away with it here. I believe Minnesota Supreme Court struck down all that traffic cam
shit. Thank fucking God, dude.
They can keep the cameras and they can have them take pictures of people doing shit all they want. But the idea that you could, photograph vehicles for, going through red lights or whatever, and then just send out you can't.
Send out a ticket, yeah.
No, because the burden of actually tying the violation to the owner of the vehicle just wasn't always clear. So you can't just
because you don't know who's always driving.
Yeah. The entire arrangement was illegitimate from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the police protecting and serving originally comes from the idea that, well, we're all here and we can't all spend our time protecting our house or our neighbor or whatever. So we're going to have this public institution, and it was born out of crime family gangs, just making arrangements with corrupt governments.
That's how police started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mafia with government.
Yeah, why do you think all the northeastern cities, every cop and robber movie has got Irish and Italian cops?
Porn
because that's who they are. That's
porn
what
started
they did.
with the porn industry started with the mafia too, right? Saying like corrupt cops, kind of.
It was implemented via those groups. They're not the ones who started it.
Yeah, it was going on, but they're the ones who legitimized it.
That industry was born out of another group of people you are not allowed to speak ill of.
Oh, who's that?
Some people call it the J question. I don't know.
I've never even heard of any of that.
Yeah. Watch a little more Revenge of the Sis.
If we say something about them, they're gonna fucking kill us in our sleep, or?
Oh no, nothing like that. They take advantage of everybody's
desires,
occult brainwashing, and they're the ones.
Everybody's fantasies.
They're the ones that did all the brainwashing. So it's weird. Everywhere they go, the particular numbers of them end up being hated by everyone everywhere, but somehow they just managed to keep controlling and owning vast swaths of everything everywhere.
We talk about the industry or this group of people?
It's a group of people.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Speaking of the industry, I'm hearing some fucked up shit with online schooling, everything being on Zoom meetings. So I think I don't know if I told you this, but it happened in my class probably about a month ago. It happened 2 weeks. There's when the election was still going on. We had someone like either hacked the Zoom meeting or just a kid in there leaked the info to like his buddy and thought he was funny. We had some dude join the meeting as Donald Trump. under the name. And the first time he did it, he just starts screaming, I won the election. I won the election. And then my teacher just ended up removing him. And then he hopped in again in the next Zoom call, like the one next week, and just started screaming, my fucking dog ate my math homework.
God.
So anyway, we have we go into this waiting room now before we start our Zoom meetings, and then you get pulled in. But I was talking to my lady about it, and she's saying she just heard it's like a really big problem. Some people like hacking into second graders Zoom meetings and start playing just some like hardcore porn and shit.
Oh sure.
That she's read articles of.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
But we were talking what do you think imagine what that does psychologically to a second grader? Like you're just a second grader picking your fucking nose and sitting in front of a computer screen because the world shut down because of a flu, and then you see that just for the first time ever.
Yeah. No, there's
creating a lot of predators being created, just sexual fiends, dude. That's what a lot of these kids are gonna grow up to be, man. Something like that. When something like that happens, dude, those kids remember it for the rest of their life.
Anybody who's being honest with themselves, they know that the uptick in the supposed percentage representation of all of these bizarre, deviant behavior patterns and shit, it all comes out of destroying children's innocence and turning them into monsters.
And that's what they're doing, dude.
Yeah, and then they have to interact with other parts of reality, and they get boxed in, they get pushed down, they get segregated away from other people, and then they stew in isolation, and then they blow up. And everybody wonders, what? Why didn't they just go get therapy?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. More likely than not, it was somebody involved with therapy who did it to them in the first place.
Yeah.
Not in therapy, but somebody who probably believes in it. And, it's just... Oh, it's so painful. It's just, what can you do?
It's disturbing knowing that there's people out there like that, just hacking Zoom meetings and trying to just and just showing hardcore porn to fucking elementary school kids, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they talk about, all of these percentage statements.
Yeah.
Did you know that 0.5 to 2% of the population? Oh yeah. Therefore.
0.5 to 2% what?
How many times have they done this to us?
Done what?
Saying, well, there's this little segment of the population that is X or does Y or whatever. And we just have to make everybody aware of it. And we just have to make sure that everybody knows there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, let's see. Thousands of years, people know that shit is wrong. It's just stuff you don't do. And now all of a sudden there's just all these people they just have to be able to do this stuff. Otherwise, you're a racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. Where does it's unbelievable to me how this has formed itself. Here's a good piece.
All right, let's hear it.
I can't even remember what in the world I was even watching, but it's an allusion to 1984. Whatever these wingdings were saying, this is a 2021 video. Diversity is unity. What does that sound like?
Diversity is unity?
Yeah, it sounds like ignorance is strength and war is peace. It's like 37 years.
I didn't think of those things when I heard that statement.
37 years from 1984 to 2021. And here we are with another circular, just implicit contradiction. Okay, unity is...
It's everyone
it's
together.
It's one.
Everyone together.
Yeah, it's one. It's 1 over 1. It's 1.000 infinite zeros. It's one whole.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity is differences all over the place. How do you... where do these people come up with this garbage?
Are you getting too obsessed with the definitions of the actual word? Because maybe they're saying all together we are one, Doesn't matter what race you are. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter if you're if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a female. Just together, we are one.
Okay, let's put two relatively non-diverse people next to each other. Let's take two white guys.
Yep.
And one guy says, well, white supremacy must come to an end. And the other one says, so what? Right? That's two different thoughts, right? Diverse ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, diversity is unity requires you to essentially execute the second guy.
Okay.
Where's the diversity?
So unity requires people to have the same thoughts and beliefs as well.
There is no diversity.
Mm-hmm.
If diversity is all of the superficial bullshit, like, I don't know, like maybe one guy's going to wear a beret and another guy's got a top hat on and another guy, has no hat on at all, but they all believe and repeat the same stupid horse shit. That's apparently their idea of unity through diversity. It's really what it is it's dumbing down the average mind to the point where they can't even recognize an idea. All they can do is recognize it's just visual. Everything has to be triggered through some kind of a visual cue, right? Oh, well, that person's black. They have to vote this way. Oh, that guy's white. He's a racist. It is the exact opposite.
That black person's smart. He's acting like a white guy.
Oh yeah. That's a great one. So yeah, with this percentage shit. Yeah, when I said it, I didn't ask a question. Because what I'm trying to point out is that every time they introduce some statement about this small percentage of the population, what ends up happening?
What?
Well, somehow you end up with far more people making claim to the new unique condition or whatever than could ever be possible. So, hell, you can go into the health world to do this. The gluten. I'm gluten intolerant or whatever. No, you're not. You eat like shit and you don't exercise and you drink too much soda and coffee and your guts are garbage. So you're going to always have discomfort when you're going number 2 or whatever. There is no, I swear to God,
flabby in the morning.
At this point, 50% of the fucking population must be making this claim to gluten crap. And it's actually more accurately like 1 in 1,000, maybe 1/10 of 1% actually has any kind of actual condition.
Celiac disease. Yeah.
It's total nonsense. And here we go again. This particular statement, this comes from a group with no standing whatsoever in the medical community, but it's now being passed around as if it's some kind of a fact. Dissociative identity disorder.
Say that again.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Yes. This is the disorder that you suffer from if you realize that, well, one, you're incompetent as far as providing services or goods to anybody else in exchange. So what you do is you make a YouTube channel and then pretend to turn into different people in front of the camera. And then have thousands of people send you fucking donations for being full of shit. I can't stand it. I mean, it's like listening to these evolutionary biologists try to explain where life came from. So you can't do it. Nothing you ever do is going to give you the answers. So shut up.
So this thing is just about people people becoming an actor or a character is what you're
basically.
saying.
Yeah. I've got a bunch
you can say the same shit about us.
I have a bunch of stupid shit that goes on in my head. I feel like you could make characters out of it.
I feel like you could say that about almost everyone on the internet. Anyone who's making content, streaming videos, damn near everyone, dude. A lot of actors too. And what's wrong with that, dude? There's some people have fun doing that. Some people have fun creating this persona and like getting in front of camera and dressing up and pretending to be someone else for like entertainment reasons.
Sure, if that's what they wanted to do, that's all well and good. Go knock yourself out. These people are carrying political banners for recognition as a special victim group so that they can pass legislation to deliver them goodies. All the while, they're doing nothing but being idiots in front of cameras. It is remarkable. DID. Good grief.
So who did you see that end up making you write that down?
Oh, it's Revenge of the Cis guys. They have got this one girl who That's the name of her channel. Dissociated.
Oh, I thought you say this one girl.
Oh my God. It is such a racket. I just can't fathom how do we keep falling for this garbage?
Well, what's going on with Trump, man? Is he getting impeached, or you've been following that at all?
I don't know. The Senate is doing, as far as I could tell, it's irrelevant anyway. And the whole point of an impeachment trial is to remove a sitting official. He's not in office anymore.
I think they want to do it so he can't run again, right? Isn't that once you get impeached, you're not allowed to run again? I want to say.
No, that's not a thing either. I don't believe that's actually a thing. What the claim is that if he is impeached, nobody will vote for him.
Oh, okay.
It isn't that he can't run.
It's like they want to attach something negative on his fucking resume, basically.
Yeah, and then it has zero power to dissuade any of the people that support him because they know this is it's a show.
Yeah.
They're just more vehement and blatant and absent-minded about it. I mean,
he could fucking hold a baby's head underwater, dude, and his people are still going to go out and vote for him.
Actually, you know what's more likely? It's more likely that his opponents will make that story up.
Okay.
We have to impeach him. You know he drowned a baby yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, that's the level we're dealing with now. I mean, and the idea that they're going to have this trial when there's so many examples of the people who are pushing for this trial doing exactly what they're accusing him of. It's like the Clintons all over again. They run around accusing people of shit. They're the ones doing it the whole time.
It's like when a meth head they steal your shit, then help you look for it.
Oh God. Actually, you know what?
Kind of like that.
Meth heads who do that, they're better than these people. I mean, they're just trying to get their fix and then cover up what they did to get it. These people don't cover anything up. They do it right in your face. CNN will report it to you, what they've done, and then they'll turn around and say, no, Trump did it. I mean, good God.
Like what? Give me an example.
Coming out of the Obama administration, somehow their campaign against the people coming across the southern border got assigned to Trump. It's absolutely incredible. And then there wasn't a single iota of any news coverage coming from those caravans or from where they got to the border and they're standing there waiting. Not a single iota of that was honest. I mean, the number of examples that they had, basically camera crews sitting there staging a photo with an army of people just standing around.
But you're talking about when they're building the wall?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. They had the one clip of the woman running with it and basically dragging her children with her.
Oh, Jesus.
And then there's somebody else has got basically a photo of what they were doing. And you just basically go 90 degrees and look at and there's just a bunch of bums along a fence in the background. She's not running from anything. The whole thing was staged. And yet that's the type of image that ends up on the front page or in the video feed of all of these.
On the Instagram.
Yeah, these bubble-headed idiots who will just start screeching at whoever they hate in politics because some other piece of garbage faked them out.
And do you think a lot of these people are just too prideful to admit it, that they got faked out? How many of them do you think they know got faked out, but they don't want to admit it because then they look dumb?
Oh, basically all of them. They know. They know that all of the material they're eating up is complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way it ever begins to have any effect is if the people absorbing it actually use the same methods in their own life. We've worked in the service industry. We've seen it. All of the general put upon attitude of all basically everybody working in the service industry it's disturbing. And what are they've taken their marching orders from these blowhards on television. It's like, look at this guy. This guy earns 6 figures and somehow he's bitching about what I do. And they do, and they take it into work and they do. This guy, he's got all this money to spend. I'm gonna make sure I bitch and I portray myself as a victim and I'm so put upon and And then they do it to get out of shifts.
Yeah.
And then they do it to get shifts. And then they do it to, get other people to do things for them at work. And they're never actually looking for what it is they can do
at work.
Their entire mode of operation is, how do I get out of whatever I'm supposed to be doing and make it appear as if I'm being victimized at the same time.
It's not how can I get the Friday night bartending shift. It's how can I get out of the Monday nights into the Friday night.
Yeah,
is that what you're kind of saying?
That's one example, sure. But okay, so let's say.
What's even the point of all this?
It all just feeds on itself. It's just one dot to the next.
Yeah.
It's all in the same theme.
I get it. I was just trying to see where you're going with it. Where was the end of the road?
Well, I did another little bit here about the natural order of fear and power.
Yeah.
So if you want to grasp the reality that we all exist in, as far as all of the hierarchies and all of that garbage goes, unless you're actually at the top where there are no humans, or at the bottom where there are a lot of humans, but I mean, the actual bottom where the real suffering is, in the United States, there aren't many people that could make any claim to visiting that place. As most of the population goes through life without ever, having any exposure to either one of those extremes, they sit somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever they sit, a lot of people there's a perspective where they feel like they're at the top of their own little pyramid, right? But that influence at the top and the psychical, the soul ammunition being pulled up from underneath you by whatever power is sitting at the top, it doesn't matter. There is no protecting yourself in this type of an arrangement, because whoever you are threatening above you, they can always summon from the bottom to eliminate you. No one ever
They're fucking raising skeletons
or experiences the top. No matter where you are, the supposed top is always willing to replace you from below.
Well, the top is probably never ending too.
It has a terminus, but most people don't like to consider where that is.
Yeah.
Because they would rather believe in rocks turning into animals and spirit god, tree spirits and shit like that.
Yeah, man, the world tree.
And now let's tie this back into trust in exchange.
Okay.
This arrangement that basically just denies the value of the individual or any of the rights inherent in a person making choices. That doesn't exist. You can tell just by the way they talk and the things they say. What it all ends up breaking down to is, who will back you up when you lie? Right?
Yeah.
Joe Biden lies all day. Why doesn't he suffer any consequences for it? Because of who backs him up when he lies. Now, you go, any average person, you go and take your spot wherever you think the top of your little pyramid is and start trying to fill people full of shit and see what happens. There's more than one possibility. Maybe somebody above you sees you as an agent of a higher capacity to put over on the people below. And so then you fail upwards. You destroy people and then you get brought up. Well, they can just
shitting on people.
Yeah, they can just as well at any point just cut you off altogether and send you tumbling down to the bottom. And that type of arrangement, it's obvious. Merit isn't the basis. It's all about advantage to gain position without regard for reconciling any of your actions.
Oh, what's happening? Yeah.
And that's what that word, I swear, I'm actually thinking about getting a tattoo.
What, really? What do you think of getting?
Just the word. I want to do the word reconciliation
on your form.
Maybe
I think it would look good right here.
Maybe in that the old German script.
Okay. I like Old English. The lettering I got done on my back, it's in Old English. That's one of my favorite fonts.
That. Yeah, it's just something that's got a kind of a cool, old script type of look. Because this is, choice is the fundamental element But in making that a platform for actual reasoning, you have to add reconciliation.
Mm.
I mean, it is. It's the golden rule. If you don't have the second part, it's pointless. Then it's just animals eating each other, which a lot of people want us to see ourselves as anyway.
Yeah.
Allah, evolution, all that stupid garbage. There is no soul. Life comes from nothing. You know.
When you die, you black out.
There's 18 billion species, even though there's only like, a couple thousand kinds of anything. We have to. Well, there's one kind. Let's split it into 10,000 different bits and pieces and say evolution. It's so stupid.
Reconciliation. If you get a tattoo, we should ask the shop if we could stream it there.
Hey, I haven't gotten one since I turned 18.
What's the other one at?
I just have the one on my left shoulder blade.
Okay, yeah, I forget you got that one. I forget that you have that one.
Yeah,
there.
the crow silhouette.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked. I was obsessed with that movie.
We gotta get you a giant back piece, dude.
Well, you know what?
I get Ludwig von Mises tatted on you.
Yeah, I could. It would actually be kind of cool.
Like a realistic portrait.
Is to
dude,
get
some of those guys. You've seen some of those fucking realistic portrait tattoos that some of these guys can do.
Oh yeah,
fuck, dude.
That's funny. I've been
Imagine getting a really good one. I
watched the Ink Master seasons that were on Netflix.
I've been watching some of the YouTube clips lately.
Like 2012.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
Dave Navarro is still.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Yeah, those are just seasons 1 and 2. I can't believe it today. I got like 15 seasons of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually another funny thing. These competition shows.
Yeah.
I
love them.
They're fun. I love watching them.
I love watching the cooking competition ones too.
I can't get over the broken cliche hurling. Sometimes these judges will start to say something and they'll put together like 3 cliches and they don't say any of them correct. It's so weird. Yeah. It's like, what's one of the really, Under the Wire, they'll screw that up. God, I can't think of any of them, but it's amazing. Sometimes they'll just take 2 and take one half of one and one half of the other and slam it together. And it's like, it doesn't even make any sense.
A cliche sandwich.
Oh man. And then when the contestants respond, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're in a competition. The number of times, if you keep me here, I'll show you next week. It's like,
what are you supposed to say though? You know what I mean? Like, you're on the spot, you're on TV, you're getting fucking called out, dude. Sometimes when people freeze up, dude, you have to resort to a cliche, Like,
I guess.
Just because it's cliche doesn't mean it's not true, And when certain people get called out on the spot, it's like, it's almost like a fallback plan. It's just saying a cliche. I will fight my hardest and I will show you that I can tattoo people. Give me a chance.
What's so ridiculous? I love the predictions of victories.
Oh yeah,
in the different scenarios.
I'm gonna kill this one.
Oh yeah. Oh man, if I don't win this one, I'm just gonna go home. Never happens. I mean, it's just like, why can't? It really is bizarre to me. They'll get a famous person will walk in the room. And they can just go a mile a minute and not really say anything, but they're talking about this person and they can just go on and on and on. Their ability to actually speak about what they're doing, it's like, you see some of these guys, and it is the most mealy-mouthed, just not saying anything that you could possibly compose to answer these questions.
Mm-hmm. See, the Ink Masters is entertaining to me, dude, because it's like, man, I could never be a canvas dude for them. I could never just let some random person tattoo me and if I got something really shitty.
Oh, like, that's another part of the Ink.
That's what makes that show like interesting, because like cooking competition, if you fuck up a cake, it's like whatever, you know what I mean? Just throw it. It just gets thrown away.
It's
like
just them and
who
the
cares?
food.
Yeah, it's just them and the food.
But guys,
Ink Master, dude, you got a human canvas that's willing to sign up, dude. And like, if you get someone who's like maybe not specialized to like Japanese tattoos, and they get a Japanese and it's a Japanese competition. competition. Like,
some of this shit is so funny.
Because after that, dude, that person, you either have to walk around with it forever, go and spend more money to get a cover up, or dude, tattoo laser removals hurt fucking even worse than the tattoo itself, from what I've heard. They don't last as long, they're quick, dude, but they're really like, you have to have multiple sessions of them just like laser burning your fucking skin off you.
Yeah, you're basically, you're taking off layers of skin.
Yep.
In the hopes that as it, with the repeated healing process, will actually get to the pigment that's down under there and basically just burn it away.
Yeah.
But you try to go that deep all at once, you're doing skin grafts at that point. You might as well just cut the fucking flap of skin out and pull something off their butt and put it back over. Yeah, you got to go a bunch of times, especially if it's dark.
Yeah.
Like solid blacks and stuff. Oh, oof. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But I love listening to some of these customers or the canvases. They're not customers because they're just there and they get their tattoo. The absolute nonsense that comes out of their mouths about what they want.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've learned after getting fucking almost half my body tatted up is you always have an image of what you want in your head, right? It's never you have to work with your artist and take their advice on what would look good depending where you're getting it on your body. You know what I mean? If you want to get something like, say if you want to get an owl and you're like, well, I want an owl right here on my shin. Well, that's probably going to look pretty fucking stupid, right? Because it's going to have one side in each face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, images need to be suited for the tattoo.
Well, like almost like a flat surface, yeah. But then they also have like, I know what you mean, the details that some of these guys get, and then that picture in their head. Like,
yeah, see, I insulated myself from any ability to be disappointed. Shape, all black.
Yep.
You can't fuck it up. If they do fuck it up, like they go outside the line or whatever, well, you just make the same shape bigger and just keep darkening it. You can't screw up a solid black shape. So it's like, just have a break. Yeah. If you really want to get tattoos, be smart about it.
Yep.
Don't expect the freaking universe out of these people. Don't have these
unrealistic expectations either.
I really, it's really made me think about what that industry has been, what people in it have been trying to do. Honestly, it's putting a false sense of security into the general population's minds about what's possible. Yeah. You can take the world-renowned guy in black and gray portraits, and he will basically reproduce a photograph on your body.
Mm-hmm.
That's extremely rare. There are not going to be a lot of people that are going to give you that result. So why bother going to try and get that from somewhere unless you are absolutely certain? I don't know. It just blows me away.
And even then, tattoos are definitely something you never want to go cheap on. But even though, like, it's so subjective, and there's so many people that are good at doing certain type of styles of tattoos.
For my tattoo,
like there's no one like there's probably some people who are kind of like a jack of all trades, but it's one of those things like I don't think nobody masters every type of style of tattoo. Just the amount of years you have to really work on like mastering your craft for Japanese style, or like what's the other one, like neo something. I can't think of it. Yeah,
new school.
Yeah, then there's new school, and then there's old school, and then I think neo traditional is maybe the one I'm thinking of. It's like, but yeah, there's all these fucking types.
Like, you got American traditional.
Yeah.
It's just the solid black lines, simple colors, well saturated.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're watching those competitions on those traditional tattoos and watching what these people try to do.
Yeah.
It's just like,
and when I give out the judges, you're probably like, they'll be like, all right, we want a traditional American tattoo. And then you have an artist that wants to like just do all this like different shit.
Yeah.
Just do the complete opposite. We'll be like, I'm really going to show the judges my creativity and my style of art by just completely fucking up myself in this competition. And then they show the tattoos of the guy. They're like, that's not American traditional.
Yeah.
Like
it is absolutely incredible. And the one guy, Jesse, he was the He was a new school guy.
Oh, is he the one who always, I like the first 3-4 episodes.
Googly eyes.
He just always did the same image, like the fucking, the big eyes and the giant teeth.
Yeah, and even on the
haircut.
The haircut, he put fucking eyes on the back of the guy's head. It was so funny.
I started cracking up during that part.
He got to that traditional Japanese, and he won.
Yep, he did.
And then he was pissed at himself. Holy crap, dude. It's not me. So what? You're obstinate about doing things correctly? What
it's
the
like, what
fuck?
are these people thinking about, thinking going into these competitions that they're only going to ask you to do one type of one style of tattoo? I mean, granted, like that, those are literally the first 2 seasons are on Netflix, right? But I would still just I would think there's some common sense going into it, thinking like, we're going to be doing all types and styles of tattooing here. I'm not just going to be able to do a fucking big-eyed buck-tooth fucking alien-looking thing every single time and hope to win.
No, I mean, they at least they had a season to watch before they were on it. And they got to see it's color, it's detail, it's shading, it's proportion.
Like there are some fundamental things that go into tattooing. Just nice, a good outline is the main one. No matter what type of tattoo I have to watch, if like you gotta have a good outline.
It is
just and they're just nice straight lines, no matter what you're doing. Like
good lines, and enough black.
Yeah,
the number of times I see I'm looking at what the finished product was, and I'm like, that's a well done piece of art. But then the judges look at it and they're like, for a tattoo, it just doesn't. It's just not it.
I know. I think it's funny that you mentioned that because I feel the same way. Like I'll be watching that show and be like, "Damn, that's pretty good," And then the judges will just chew it apart when they get up there. But once you actually listen to them, like they do point out things that you didn't see at first. Like
the Japanese stuff. I'm shocked because you see these people. They will be able to do like a realism, like a light and dark. It's a light source with an object and shadow, and they can reproduce that on skin with black and gray ink, and it looks fantastic. And then you get one of these Japanese things, and it's completely 2-dimensional. Right? I mean, it's like a stained glass window, and it's got all these little pieces in it. All of the things in there are symbols of different meanings and things. The dragons and the koi fish and the lotus flowers and on and on. And the fact that these people, how many of these freaking tattoos do they have a chance to look at? They've got the freaking internet sitting there. They can pull up an infinite number of these Japanese tattoos, and they'll make a dragon, and it'll only have one hand.
Yeah.
Or
they fuck up the anatomy a lot in those first couple of seasons. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I could like the one dude did this dragon thing, and it was basically almost all black. Had
I know
a little
who you're
bit
talking
of red
about.
in it.
He's the fucker with the mohawk.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that one. I mean, the actual tattooing of the image, he did a great job. I mean, the guy does great lines, and he doesn't hold back. He blacks where he needs to. Yeah. But the thing was, it was just a knot of nonsense.
Yeah, and that one was
so funny.
And that one was too black, though. I mean, all my tattoos are black and gray, but that one was just like blasted. One of them I got really impressed with this one black and gray. I forget what the name. It was one of the guys from that same season, but like he did some horrific type of thing of like, I don't know, some ugly looking face, but his mouth was open, and he had all these different levels of black and gray going like, well, you could see in the back of this thing's throat.
That was the guy. That was the winner.
And you could all the way up to like this thing's teeth. You saw these different levels of black. I couldn't believe it, like how well it looked and how distinct he made everything too. Like going back, like looking at this thing's tongue to just like, I don't know, dude. I'm really impressed with like the shit some of these artists can do.
The people who can take, when you just look at it, if you took the rest of the image away, it's just a dysmorphic freaking blob of black.
Yeah.
But then you can see in there that it's actually, it was this, and then this was layered over on top, and it gives the effect of depth and shape inside the blob. It's amazing. I don't know how anybody can conceptualize that in their head and know how it's good.
Well, especially when you're getting when you're doing the tattoo itself, because like I'll watch my guy doing like when I was getting my arm done and whatnot. It just, you can't fucking tell, dude. Honestly, I can't. I'll be looking at him, it looks fucking, it gets red. Sometimes it bleeds, but it all just looks like blasted black ink, dude. No matter what you fucking do, I have no idea how they know what they're doing, but
I have trouble drawing with pen and paper. And the fact that these people are doing it on skin with all of that shit going on, I'm blown away by really good tattoos. They are amazing.
Yeah,
I've had some fun watching just terrible Netflix shit. I mean, it really is. It's bad, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, just terrible shows are the worst. Anything that just says real people. I've watched a few episodes of Real Housewives when I've been over at my girl's house. And even that dude's pretty fucking entertaining, dude.
Oh, I
just
know.
These super rich bitches.
I've watched it.
We're watching the Dallas one right now. That's like a new, and it's going on with COVID. Like,
you could just imagine me sitting watching that.
I know.
It would take me an hour and a half to watch a half an hour episode, because I'd be pausing it every 30 seconds to write something about how stupid whatever it was they said.
Yep.
And it's fast and furious on a show like that. The amount of absolute nonsense that comes out of their mouths.
It's entertaining though, I'll be honest. I like it. Yeah.
I mean, talk about people disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh,
just the amount of these houses that these women live in, dude. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it's 420, man.
It's 420 already?
Yeah. You got to get out of here pretty soon.
Yeah, I do.
Make sure
I got to get ready for
you're fresh and ready. Yep. We'll go ahead and call it at that.
Team Philly.
That's right. Oh, well, here, before we go, what'd you think of that Super Bowl game?
Oh, well, I was actually, I was at work, but I got done. I was able to clock out right around when the game started. And then there were a bunch of us that stayed and played.
Okay.
And boy, I got taken to the frickin' cleaners.
Like,
well,
when you're playing, or I'm talking about the game itself.
Oh, the football game was just fun to watch Mahomes lose.
Yeah,
and it was neat. You got the first occurrence of the home team winning.
Yeah,
or the Super Bowl winner being at home. That was. And Tom Brady, I mean,
I'm glad Tampa Bay won, dude. I should have taken my bets. I had a lot of people wanted to bet against me, dude. I said that because I was the only one here that wanted Tampa Bay to win. I actually thought they would win too, but I'm not really much of a gambler.
Oh man, oh, that's a bummer.
But see, I'm not a gambler though. I don't know. Even if I bet like $100, it's just like it just seems dumb to me. Hindsight's always 20/20. Like.
Yeah, I wish
I'm not one. I've never really been one of those guys. Like maybe I'll go to Mystic Lake and play some bingo or something, but I've never gotten like a thrill of like, all right, I'm gonna put $500 on this team.
No, the moment I make a bet, I just get sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Like if people go out to the casino, I'll get a couple rolls of quarters and play some.
The game's a lot more enjoyable. Just me just watching it and not knowing no matter what happens, my life isn't going to get affected.
Oh, but we added to the misery by playing a skins game in our round of golf.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow I let Mike convince me that he and I should basically play scratch and the other two guys get a stroke a hole. I just screwed myself. Basically what ended up happening is I finished 10 to 12 strokes behind everybody because one, I shouldn't be playing scratch next to Mike.
Mm-hmm.
He's at least 9-10 strokes better than me on those simulators. And the other guys, hell, they basically shot the same score I did, but I was giving up a stroke a hole. I don't know how I got roped into that. Of course, $3 a hole. I'm just out the $54. It's just out the window.
Whatever.
And I should have never bought into that. What an idiot.
Tom Brady's coming back, dude.
Oh,
Everyone thought he was gonna retire.
Oh, he'll be back next year. He's He's still got it. There's no way he's going to walk away after playing that well and winning a Super Bowl.
Right.
Oh, just fuck.
And Tampa Bay's they're still looking healthy, dude, and good.
I mean, Gronk has got to want it.
Yeah.
Because he missed, he wasn't there for the whole thing. He's got more rings to win.
I give more props to Tampa Bay's defense, dude, honestly, than anything. Fuck, dude, to shut out the Chiefs' offense like that.
They couldn't do much of anything.
Their D-line was, it was fun to watch. It was fun, like, because that's something, like, so rare to see, like, a defense, like, stopping the Chiefs.
Yeah, their fake ass gadget bullshit offense. They just run past everybody. They don't even really play football.
No,
it's really irritating. I can't stand.
But there's
watching
something to say to that though. It's like, hey, if it works, dude. If I'm faster than you, I'm just gonna run past you every time, and he's gonna fucking bomb it to me, and I'm gonna catch it in front of you. You know, like. If you can't stop it, you can't stop it.
And the league has pushed everything in that direction by pussifying the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guys on defense, for the most part, can't even play the football from even 20 years ago.
No, which is tough.
It's basically, you might as well just put them all out there in tutus and just tell them to spin around with their hands up in the air.
Which is tough, especially like these guys have been taught to tackle one way. All the way through their whole life. You know what I mean? Through the whole fucking life.
And all of a sudden, it's
like, nope, now you got to change it.
Yep. You got to make sure you're trying to hold back because someone might get hurt. Yeah, we run into each other at full speed. What the hell do you think is going to happen? It's so stupid. Football it's just like, it's like the smoking bans in the bars.
Yeah.
A bunch of know-nothing authorities somehow managed to get their hands all over it, and they've ruined it. I mean, it's still fun to watch for what it is.
It is.
But it's not what football used to be. Man, I remember like the late 80s Vikings, Keith Millard. And
I never watched any of those guys.
Scott
you know what? It's
Studwell,
actually funny. Like, it's actually a coincidence. My first one Super Bowl, like, I would say the one Super Bowl that I actually remember a lot as a kid that got me into football, what was the 02 Bucks, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Oakland Raiders, yeah.
Work done and Mike Allstott? Oh, my God.
Mike Allstott was one of my favorite.
Those guys were fun to watch.
Yep. Their defense was fucking stacked that year, too. But that's when they had Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice. Do you remember that guy? That was they had Warren Sapp, the tackle. They had this other dude named Simeon Rice, I believe, was D end. He was real good back then.
He played a long career.
They had John Lynch, and then they had John Lynch and Rondé Barber in the backfield.
Derek
Brooks.
Yeah,
he's Hall of Fame linebacker.
Yeah, he was.
I think he actually won He either won MVP or defensive player of the year that year. Yeah.
Yeah, that team was something
fun
else.
too, dude. They got like fucking 2 or 3, like the defense scored 2 or 3 touchdowns in that Super Bowl. I remember. I think Brad Johnson was
the quarterback. Yeah, first year after leaving the Vikings, he goes down there and wins the Super Bowl.
See, I feel like he kind of got carried by that defense. But...
and the other fun part, if I remember this right, that was the year after Tony Dungy left.
Yep, and Gruden left Oakland.
Gruden left Oakland to go to Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Oakland lost didn't they lose the Super Bowl the year before?
Did they go?
Or did
is that
they
when they
lose
beat
to
the
Bucks?
No, I think that did they lose to the Patriots in that one where it was snowing? That championship game? I think they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship. He kicked a field goal at the last second when it was like snowing against the Pats. I want to say.
I can't remember.
That was the year before. I think and then Gruden left after that, went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And he ends up there with Johnson, and they win the Super Bowl the first year they're both there. Right. That was just, and what's crazy is that, so Dungy misses the Super Bowl in Tampa by 1 year, and then ends up winning one in Indy, right? Didn't they win that Super Bowl when Dungy was there?
I don't know if he ever got one, dude.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he? I don't know if he ever got one.
The list of Vikings coordinators that didn't get made head coach under Denny Green. There's like 3 or 4 of them that won Super Bowls.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin's going down.
Brian Billick won one in Baltimore. Yeah. Mike Tomlin's won a couple in Pittsburgh.
But did he coach under the guy you just were talking
about? Denny Green?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tomlin coached under him?
Oh, okay. Tomlin was under Denny Green. Okay. Brian Billick. Tony Dungy. God, who else was in there?
I kind of feel bad for the Steelers, dude, actually. Fuck, to go 10-0, then they lost in the first round. Well, they go 10-0.
To get in the playoffs. And then they lose a couple, which is whatever. You know what I mean? Fuck, dude, just going 10-0 doesn't even matter what you finish. That alone is impressive. But just to lose that first round right away, man. Yeah, the pace setters in the records, they don't have a very good historical track record.
They don't.
They really don't. I mean, look at Green Bay this year.
Tom Brady and Moss, even they were the one team that almost did it. Even they fucked it up at the end against the Giants.
How many number one NFC seeds have the Packers pissed away? Or at least first round buys. This was the first time that only the one got a bye, but they've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
And then Atlanta Falcons? Pretty sure they've had a handful where they were near the top and just they couldn't do anything. Who's another one that's notorious for that?
Probably the Vikings.
The Vikings are. They're one of the best almost finish it teams. We figured out since they lost their last Super Bowl, they've actually lost 6 NFC championship games.
Really? We've been to that many?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Do you know which one you're not aware of?
Well, hold on. I know we lost 2 to the Eagles total, right?
No. There was another year that we lost earlier to the Eagles.
Okay.
But get this. So the first one, Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
Back in the 70s.
Oh, this is after we made it the last Super Bowl.
After our last Super Bowl.
So we haven't been in the Super Bowl since the 60s.
No, 70s.
70s?
76 or 77. So the year after that Super Bowl, we lost the NFC Championship to the Cowboys.
Yep.
Then we've got
the one in 98, I know, the famous one.
Redskins.
Okay.
Redskins in the late 80s. So that's 2. Then we've got Giants. Oh, no. Falcons, 98.
Falcons, 98.
Giants, early 2000s, 41 donut.
Is that, yeah.
2009, Favre across the body, New Orleans. We lost that one. And now the Eagles, Minneapolis Miracle.
So that's 5.
That's 6. Cowboys, Redskins, Falcons, Giants, Saints, Eagles.
Oh, Saints. Okay.
And I couldn't believe it when I found that out. That Cowboys one, I didn't know about it. 6 of them.
Jeez.
6 of them since I've been born. We've lost 6.
Does that wear on you, dude? It's funny. I remember that 2009 one real quick because I know you got to get going here.
That was brutal.
That was when I was a little bit of a hoodlum back then. I got in some trouble with my law. Anyway, I was going through this treatment program, right, that the government forced me to. And the same, I remember when it was the next meeting that we had after that weekend where the Vikings lost to the Saints. There was some dude in his 60s, you know what I mean? Had a drinking problem, whatever. And I could see it in his eyes. He was just he was sitting this slouch in his chair. I just gotta accept they're just never gonna win it. I felt the pain though when he said this, in his voice. This dude has watched these guys probably go to every single fucking Super Bowl since he was a kid. Watched all the NFC championship games before that, dude, and he just wanted to see them win it one fucking time, dude.
Yeah, that's a pretty sad saga.
Oh, it is. Right, Professor Phil, we'll get you out of here, man. Good luck on the championship game.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back next Wednesday.
Oh, absolutely. Plan on it.
Sounds good. I choose the Doug Life. The Doug Life chose me.
Philly out.